All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Made in Abyss, Season 2, Episode 10.
All right.
Fapita is here.
Yeah.
And she's pissed.
And she's very right to be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. The learning, the knowledge, the things that we have in our heads now because of the flashbacks and the backstory.
Good luck, everyone.
Fucking Yui.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I'm sure
Fantastic.
this is going to go fine.
Mm-hmm.
There will be minimal casualties. No.
To our main cast.
There we go. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Still minimal means there will be some.
It's Made in Abyss after all.
I think that Innkeeper is, like, definitely dead. That's a great, like,
Yeah.
side tertiary character you could just fucking kill off.
Yeah.
And it's just brutal, it's sad.
Although, let's be real. Made in Abyss likes torturing specifically the new cute characters that are introduced. Voiko is on the chopping block very much.
Voiko's not that new right now.
No, I know. But, like, as far as if you look at the season as a whole, I don't know. I feel like Fapita probably has the least likelihood of actually hurting Voiko.
Yeah,
But
no, I think it's the opposite, that Voiko is going to be fine. Fapita is just going to indiscriminately kill a whole bunch of hollows here, and it's more going to be about the people that are very clearly just ones who are kind of just capitalizing on the fact that this very convenient village is here, and they've just been squatting here because it's a
didn't
great
start
safe
it.
place. No, they're not responsible.
Nope.
Right? So, fuck. But yeah, this is Made in Abyss doing its Made in Abyss thing, giving us potentially a full-on action episode again.
Action implies resistance, you know.
I'm
sure they'll try.
I think they'll try.
Yeah.
I think that Fapita is about to get a few more notches on her kill belt. You know.
Yep. I think that is quite likely.
But yeah, I think that Rico will be safe for now.
Yes.
Because Rico is a way to manipulate Reg. Mitty will be safe.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Nanachi will be safe. I really do. I
think
Beloff is one of the ones who's most definitely in danger here.
Oh, yes. But I think he's okay with that.
I think Wazukan is also in danger here. And
don't hurt Nanachi. Don't you dare hurt Nanachi.
Yeah, don't you dare fucking hurt Nanachi.
No. Like that. No.
Nah.
That. God damn it.
But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, it's the hungry caterpillar. Whoa.
Okay. Oh. No.
Oh.
No, don't do this again. Come on.
This is a true, healthy goodbye.
Yep.
Oh, it was beautiful. God, Nanachi's voice acting is so good.
ず見つけに行くから必ず会いに行くからだから見て待ってて
God damn it.
It wasn't a death. There was no pain. It was just an
Just
illusion.
stopped.
It was no longer there. And now you said goodbye. Oh, 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 this music. Oh, they made it. It's a creation of theirs, meaning it's a memory. It's a way to hold on to them. Fuck. Oh, cool. It's like a little blue Mitty shell kind of thing, almost, you know? It's got the 2 eye spots. Oh, you can hear it.
He's already woken back up.
You can...
Just background noises of slaughter.
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That
It's
too.
helping, yeah. Oh. Fuck.
Yo, what's your play?
Okay.
If he was Fapita's Haku, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Oh no. That voice. Oh no. Oh, they're past. Wow, see the looks like Liza's boomstick. Oh, what a transition. Oh, shit. Shit. Oh. Hmm. Ah. Huh? Huh? Ah. Oh. Hmm. Damn.
つけておいてくれたら嬉しい。反動が未知数だがやるしかない。リコ、行くよ。プルシカ。
Okay, try to awaken him. Whoa. Holy shit.
悪いがこのまま外に連れて行く。
Oh.
Oh my god.
ガブに届けさせたのはファプタソセ。君が
Whoa.
いる間になぜ黙って
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
人の子と石のものが誠に惹かれ合っているなら離れてもいずれ母にたどり着くだけ。
Damn.
雨。いや、なんだ。
Yeah. Oh my
The voice
god.
acting is killing me.
Oh.
What? What?
Here we go.
なんと巨大な。焼けた雨も平気なのか。
Whoa.
あの印、ガブールの
Oh, yeah, yeah.
ハクソス。
Oh.
一番大事なものにつけるソス。一番なのに二つあるのか。パプタは三つの卵から。
Oh. Wonder what the third one is.
母は生かされ続けてる間、蝕まれ続ける。
Yeah.
中の奴らを根絶やしすれば、母はようやく眠りを取り戻すさ。レグ、書き換えできる言ってたソス。この手はそういう光を出せるのだが、パプタ、僕も白を探して
Oh.
頼まれたことがあるのだ。それが終わったら
Wow.
Okay.
After. I'll come back. Yeah.
これはレグソス。僕？レグが旅に出てもレグを忘れんようにレグに話すソス。あれは泳いでいけるか。
And that's how he lost his memory?
Yeah.
できたらずっと一緒にいて、それで子供も
Oh.
戻ってきて、君の宿命に決着をつけたら共に歩き出すんだ。
Yes! 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 Using this track here! Yes!
That was
Nice.
so long.
Yep. I like it. The 3 stones, just 3 Haku, you know?
Yeah.
Little monument to that. Oh, nice. And that memory falls back like a tear.
共鳴するのは
Oh.
笑って肝心なことは何一つ思い出せないのに、勝手な言い分だとは分かっている。燃え尽きるまで自らを焼き続ける君を。レグは優しいソスな。だが
Oh no. Oh no.
Fuck.
だが愚かソス。
Oh!
Oh my god.
This show is beautiful, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit.
You know,
Well, that was a heavy, just beautiful,
yeah.
emotional episode.
As we were starting this one, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! This is the 10th episode of season 2. Season 1 had a pretty special 10th episode too.
It did.
I wonder if we're in. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we are. We
Okay.
doubled with Fabita and Nanachi
Yep.
going through very, very extreme emotions here. And
Yeah.
the Nanachi stuff was in the beginning, which I actually really liked because it set the emotional tone for everything.
Set the emotional tone for everything. It didn't end up being distracting of like
Yeah, it didn't
going
overstay
back
its
to this.
welcome.
Yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome.
Yep.
But also like with the carnage that's happening later, you couldn't have it after, and you certainly couldn't have it during. So having it before is a really
It's
good.
perfect.
It's perfect. That, quite frankly, that packed enough emotion in it for me that if that was all we had got in the episode, you know, like in 4 minutes or whatever in,
Yep.
I would have been okay. I would have been like, all right, that's plenty.
Same. Yeah.
And it, like this episode, as I was watching it, it kind of made me have a bit of an existential crisis because I'm like, this is absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's this part of me that doesn't want to keep watching it. Like it's so beautiful and so heartrending to witness all of this stuff happening, and all at the same time, then it's saying keep hoping, right? And it's just.
Yeah, because Fapita is a much more beautiful example of what the Abyss has to offer to our main characters than anything that they've experienced thus far.
Yeah, this is not a Bondrewd situation. Yeah, far from.
Yeah, most of all the antagonistic forces and characters and stuff like that they've encountered have very irredeemable aspects to them. They're either so impersonal that there's nothing to them there, or they're so deeply kind of focused on their own specific personal goals that they don't really care about the consequences here. Whereas this is a character who has a very, very personal, deep connection with Reg. And it's not just because, he's someone that I spent some time with a little bit ago. No, Reg had a personal, special connection, and in some ways still kind of does with Fapita, even though he doesn't remember any of the important bits,
Yeah, and the thing that also makes this so tough is that when I see the stuff that's happening here, right? I don't entirely know if it's something that Fapita can go against.
No, not necessarily.
Because like there's a part of it that almost feels like a compulsion within her nature, where it's she was the being that was made to be the vengeance, right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm carrying a bit of my mother's will.
And so yes, you can say all the stuff and the tears are shed and everything, but nope.
Yeah.
This doesn't have a happy ending. And even though the characters are trying so hard, even though it seems like there should be that possibility, right? Nope.
Yeah, right now though, I actually think because of the cliffhanger, they're actually going to have a slightly lightly happy ending with Fapita.
All right,
and
that
is fair. The reason because of that is that the plot conflict right now is about whether Fapita can be stopped.
Right.
Not about whether Reg will be able to survive this. Because in a lot of ways, Reg is invulnerable as well. And given that Fapita is immortal, but in a different way, that means really that, well, you can't stop her. Which means, then the conflict isn't about,
isn't necessarily about stopping her.
Can we stop Fapita? It's about what constitutes stopping her.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a great point. And on top of that, the fact that the cliffhanger was her going to strangle him, not her ripping his head off or whatever.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, Reg has about the same plot safety armor as Rico, I would say, in this situation.
Way more, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I in some ways am almost at that point where she's going to start targeting not Reg in order to get him to stop.
Oh, yeah, yes. In the situation, I would say other people could totally end up being in more danger. But, from the... Reg's not going to die in the same way that Rico's not going to die until at least the end of the show, right? It's because they're the core characters,
Right. It's always with this show is what kind of suffering and pain will they go through.
Death is too easy,
Death
right?
is boring.
Yeah. So
here we have limbs torn off. We have,
emotional damage.
Stomachs getting violated by an intrusive fist and claw.
Yep.
We've got, entire bodies getting blown up from the inside by this ferocious little monster. Fapita's voice acting and also just
haunting.
Also just the violence of her desire to rid her late mother of these squatters basically is just it's powerful. Haunting is a great word for it. This is the vengeance that's been a long time coming, and now that it's here, we just have to sit and wait for it to be over. Because I love that everybody who's kind of important in a weird way is just kind of casually being shunted to the side because
don't go over there.
Gabu is taking care of them right now. But that is a cool way of showing that Fapita does have a limited form of control over herself. This is not just a pure rampage. She did kind of stop and talk with Reg.
All right. I will not keep you
times.
from rescuing your
Yeah,
friend.
go do it.
But don't use this as some dumb excuse, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing here then? Go rescue them.
Yeah.
I won't stop you.
Right. Like that. I'm glad that was. There was no beating around the bush with that. It's I know what you're trying to do.
I don't care.
Don't insult me with that.
Yeah.
If you do want to save your friend, of course, save them.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yep. Don't try to stop me.
Yeah.
I won't try to stop you. Go ahead. Yeah. And also just the reveal now that Reg's memory then made him lose all of this with his connection with Fabita.
Right.
Being something that if he came back, she was ready to go. She's like, okay, cool. You being back means then that we're going to do it.
You're fulfilling your promise.
We're going to destroy Iramui.
Yeah.
We're going to free her.
Because one of the things up until now with Fabita, because even though she is like immortal and has been around for a long time, with the childlike appearance and the innocence, shall we say, with the way that she comports herself, when it's you're my Haku and all of this stuff and things like that, there's always that like bit in the back of our heads of like, okay, how reliable is she? Right? You know, is that actually what it was, or is that just what she thought what it was?
Sure.
Because she has a very simplistic black and white approach to everything, right? And so maybe once we actually see the context, it'll not quite be that, and then there will be some rude awakenings that'll happen from that.
He promised.
He promised. It was very upfront, and the whole question of, there is actually a culture there. She knows. She doesn't care.
Nope.
Yeah,
Reg just got real mechanical with this and was like, oh,
yep,
okay.
And they did very much like each other.
I will do that for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And all this time, Reg was basically the ex-lover of the birth of a wish-granted 3-in-1 creature of the abyss.
Yep.
That also then, by extension, kind of carries within itself the kind of the exact thing that Bondru is looking for, maybe. Like there's so many ways in which Fapita as a character is interesting in the story and in the world building, but it's the kind of thing where if I had my way, I would knock him the fuck out of Fapita. Like bring her into the party, take her along with them, and then the only problem is just that, well, she'd want to stay with Reg. She wouldn't want Reg to go on, and thus that's the interesting thing is do they then go for the story angle of, oh, Reg can't continue on. In order for this to actually work, they both couldn't beat each other. Reg would have to stay here.
Yeah, because if the village gets totally destroyed and Fapita gets what she wants in that regard, then theoretically there's no reason she can't join them, right? And I could totally see that.
Let her join them,
yeah. Whether they would let her, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I think. Well, okay.
I would want them to, but I feel like if she
with how Rico is, I think she would be weirdly okay with it in the way that Rico tends to be, right?
Yeah.
Reg, I think he would also be okay with it because of context and memories and all that kind of stuff. And then Nanachi, I don't think she'd particularly care one way or the other. Like. Maybe she would. I don't know.
Yeah, but I just want her to go that way. I just feel like the characters need to have all good reasons for it to be that way, given that we're eventually going to have the moment where named hollows get murked right in front of Rico, or it then goes up to Wazukian and Waco. And Waco being, not a hollow, but also... specifically grabbed by Wazukian before all this happened. Meaning, he knew where the end game of this whole scenario lies. And, given he has foresight. And now he's starting to do some funky shit with his tentacles. Which could be just protecting Iramui, but it's probably not.
Yeah, so I could see that being a way in which,
The conflict
Wazukyan,
shifts.
the conflict shifts. Wazukyan has figured out some way to stop Fapita or something like that. One of the other things that I'm kind of curious about, though, is that so Fapita wants vengeance, right?
Yeah.
But she also wants to free her mother.
By killing her. Yeah.
Right. If all of the other Hollows, now granted, character-wise, I don't think they would do this, but could they theoretically leave the village and just abandon it? And would that be potentially enough for Fapita? Particularly if they're not the ones that actually did this to Irumyuui in the first place.
No, I don't think
she's-
so. That's the whole point of
Yeah.
what Belaf was saying, was that all of the villagers, even himself, they can't exist beyond the village now. Wazukyan and all of them will die.
Right, because anything that was made in here cannot then leave. Right.
Right,
So,
and all of them were transformed by the time they entered the village.
oh, that's right. Yeah. So it's
So
not
none
just
of
the ones
them
that were
can
here
leave.
originally. Yeah.
So Wazukyan is not just protecting the village for the sake of the village
Right.
necessarily. He might be protecting it just to save his own hide. You
right.
know?
They are not freed because Irumyuui is being destroyed and is opened up and everything. Right. Yes.
Yeah. Now, while they're not actively being destroyed right now because they're not trying to leave, the force field, the curse of the abyss, and all that is seeping in. It is
Right.
It is going to affect them eventually. So this is an inevitable end for basically everybody in here, and in some ways, the only person who's guaranteed to survive this whole thing by the transformation of Irumyuui or the destruction of Irumyuui, without something else changing things, is Fapita.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, Prushka and all them, but
That would be crazy if there was a situation where it's the, once she actually does this, her purpose has been fulfilled or something, and then she also goes away. Like if they wanted to get an extra dip on the suffering, fondue.
have
that-
Fapita's memories be erased. There you go.
Oh.
Because if the idea is that if Fapita is an active wish, once the wish has been fulfilled, wouldn't Fapita change a a bit?
Oh,
or,
sure.
Or
Yes.
maybe theoretically, I don't know.
That could definitely be a thing.
There'd be another wish as well that would be Fapita's wish as well.
Well, so when you said that made me think of something totally different.
Uh-huh.
There seemed to be an implication that maybe the thing that wiped away Reg's memories was the floating lake of death or whatever, right?
Okay.
That when he went up there, at the very least, after he went up there, at some point he lost his memory, right? And so that whole thing happened. We could get a thing in the future of no, there was a very specific thing of how it happened. But if it was the lake, would there be a possibility that if they managed to get Fapita into that, then that would be the perfect wiping away of the tears, so to
Feels
speak?
really clunky.
Yeah.
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 I get what you're saying, yeah, but I have to go back and look at the old world building stuff.
Let's solve this
show as
super
well.
super complicated and nuanced
Blip.
situation with
Dip you in a-
well, yeah, not just the blip, but with an amnesia plot.
I mean, we already had that with Reg.
Well, no, I know, but that's part of the premise and setup of the story, as opposed to the solving it of an
Introducing
immediate
it.
conflict. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I would say that it has merit a little bit, but I also am just kind of pulling that out of my ass for the
Right.
sake of trying to figure out a way in which Fapita could go along with them and it would be okay.
If there was any kind of MacGuffin, new rule, loophole, or whatever
Yeah, I don't
that
want
wasn't
that.
like a character thing, I don't want it either. But if there was something, I could see it. I could see that being a way that they could maybe justify it, even if it would be
Yeah.
unsatisfying.
That's why I want to get into the idea of the actual wishes and stuff that have been done in the show thus far, because I feel like some of them are not fulfilled yet. And
Yeah.
also based on the idea that, wishes are something that only children can do, and Wazukyan is not a child, never has been a child in the show. So he shouldn't have been able to use the one that's been stored in his body there. So it's something that he's waiting to use eventually. And that's something that is a MacGuffin that's sitting around waiting to
Sure.
be used for some reason.
Yeah, if he hasn't used it already, that definitely would be.
Well,
and
right.
if and since he has foresight, maybe he would have.
Oh, he would know,
Yeah,
this is the way it can be used eventually, is I need to set up a situation where Fapita will be my salvation. I need to set up a thing where the village can be destroyed. Fapita will get what she wants. and then I can
Right.
get her
And
to
then
be
it's just
in
the
an
wish of-
emotional enough state to where I can manipulate this situation to give me something.
man.
If she wishes on it in a way,
You know,
I can capitalize on.
So when I think about how I would maybe use that wish that they're able to then leave Iramui and still exist, right?
Right.
The thing that would
With
be
his
so
new body. that he's
right
got,
with with his new body.
Yeah.
The thing that would be so fucked about that is that then maybe they'd be tied to Wazukyan, right? Because then maybe he's the one sustaining them. Like maybe the tentacle thing is actually just to make a new Iramui that would then go separate, and then they'd stay in that and they'd be okay. But then two, if that were to happen,
Become Iramui.
something like
Kinda.
that. But the other thing that would be so messed up about that is then, oh yeah, Mitty and all the other people that died from disintegrating, yeah, they would have been fine in just
They just
another
waited
10 minutes.
They just waited an hour. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
That is a classic though, like
The disaster apocalypse movie where the people find acceptance and they accept their death, but then the people that actually panicked and went running like crazy actually managed to get away.
oh no, the opposite.
just
Where
survive
the
long
people
enough.
the people that panicked, if they just waited, they were eventually gonna get saved. So it's the no. Those that stay and hold on to family, hold on to, their friends, their loved ones, their connections, end
Right.
up getting rewarded for that that steadfastness. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that would be perfect for a grimdark story like Made in Abyss, where every once in a while, it's not actually grimdark really, but it's just
No.
the idea that when it goes into those darker areas there, it feels hopeless and it feels just full of despair. And that could be a really twisted way to cement in that, no, Wazukyan might not have been evil necessarily, but was thinking about eventually figuring out a way that there can be a permanent residence here in the Abyss, but it won't be tied into the closed loop of Fapita eventually getting her vengeance.
Right.
And I do think on some level, Fapita has not fully... Wazukyan could have been operating under the she will be their salvation by the way of the babies.
And that's all it was.
And that's all it was.
Yeah.
That would be Iramui. But that's the thing though, is that in a weird context there, maybe that's a bit of the point there, is that the salvation was eventually going to be Fapita, who would come out of Iramui.
Sure.
And thus
Right, because-
carry the last remaining aspects of the original wish.
Right. One of the vibes that I've gotten from Wazukyan when we would see him, more so in the past than the present, even though he had some sort of foresight thing, he didn't necessarily know how it all was going to work. And that's where it went into that sort of like,
Nebulous.
prophet faith kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Because it's I know that this is sort of what's going to be the
Work.
case,
Yeah.
but I don't know why or how,
Yeah.
right? And so then maybe if it's
He just gets really excited when he sees the thing.
Right.
It's
Oh,
like, ooh, that's
we're
it,
able
that's
to
it.
eat the kids. This is a way that it's being our salvation. But maybe it's actually that, it's going to be Fapita coming back in some way or
I
something
would also
like that.
love them to twist, because I don't know if the salvation word is a translation or something like that, but it'd
Oh,
be
sure.
something about their inevitable just death, and and it's not about salvation from the standpoint of being saved. It's a salvation thing from the standpoint of being freed from
Right.
the true suffering.
It's not salvation, it's purification,
I mean, that's kind of what Fapita is for Iramui.
yeah.
Salvation, setting her free
Yep.
from
Yep.
life.
No, that's
from
true.
living.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So good. It's the Catholic Church. Oh,
Right.
fuck, it's the Catholic Church.
Right. Yeah. And this is all in the episode where we double dipped on Mitty very effectively, and yet that feels like an afterthought by comparison.
Oh my God, so good.
Like this episode was so beautiful and so gorgeous and so chilling.
Yep.
It's just it's peak Made in Abyss.
Yeah. And season 2 just keeps peaking again and again. Final thing to just kind of wrap this up a little bit. Fapita as a character is one that I feel like the creator of this story and world and everything walked a very fine line of having a character be almost too important in the storyline, to the point where, if you think about this functionally, Riko and Nanachi have been sidelined for a
Yes,
large
very much
portion of
so.
the story. And this is a very tricky line to walk, basically, when you have these characters with very strong motivations coming into this environment here, and your other character is the amnesiac kind of lost soldier character who can kind of be whatever the world needs him to be.
They're easy to rope into the situation, but for the others, maybe not quite so much.
So they get kind of pushed back, it's dangerous to introduce effectively the. This is another thing that don't take it as a criticism, but Fapita is about as OC of a character as she comes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
In terms of how like perfectly quirky and like awkward she is. And yet I love the trauma and pain associated with Fapita bringing out this complicated response from Reg. So while Fapita exists as her own wonderful three-dimensional character, she is basically the arc backstory character for our member of the party that has the amnesia side of things there. Well, so I feel like even though I kind of want Fapita to join the party and everything like that, I do think I have to internally acknowledge that Fapita's role structurally in the story is to give this arc emotional depth and meaning for Reg especially, which means then that she doesn't fit actually in the party from that perspective.
Wait, say that again. The bit about her place in the arc of the story.
Fapita's place in this arc of the story is to give emotional context to the pain and the journey that this area of the world has been on.
Right, exactly. And that's where I think because I'm with you on the like sort of not necessarily the best word for it, but the OC, kind of nature that you're talking about, right?
Like it was just Reg's decision that led to this event basically happening. Like the other characters didn't really influence the story as much here.
Yes, that's also a great point.
Yeah.
But like in my mind, that works so well for Fapita because it lends to the notion and that sense that she is also a slave to the will of her mother and the situation that she is in. And so in the same way that it's the like she is very much mechanically in the story a character that is servicing the plot in the world.
Yes.
That's also the point of it, so that then the struggle here is not just can we convince her to not do the thing, not kill the people, because like as a character decision, that's not how it would work. It's can we help this person break free from the curse of the past?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's where I feel like it really works well. There's still the potential issue maybe this isn't necessarily the best example, but you could run into the Stranger Things problem where you introduce new side characters that are very engaging and witty and all that stuff that then end up being more interesting than the original main cast.
Yeah, and I'm saying that's not the issue here. The issue is a structural one where it's like her character is plenty wonderful in terms of writing and stuff and setup here, but the idea that her conflict is one primarily to develop an aspect of the world, but the emotional side of it is one that only is connected to Reg through the amnesia side of things there, meaning that it is something that is very independent of the choices of the other characters. So if you're going to have her be a part of the party after this, you would need to fundamentally change Fapita as a character, which means then that the struggle is not about surviving Fapita or about stopping Fapita. It's about how will Fapita change. And given that she is a being of the wishes, basically, that's the world-building MacGuffin thing that we have in the story that could actually fundamentally change Fapita, and it wouldn't feel like an asshole in some way.
And this is right. That is an excellent point.
But if they don't do that, she can't be in the story.
Right,
basically.
and that might be where, because the other thing that I was thinking is that maybe it's not that Fapita joins the party, it's that Voiko joins the party.
Yes.
And Voiko, because if you think about it, right, the stuff that they're doing with Fapita is absolutely beautiful, right?
Yes.
It is haunting, it's chilling, it's emotional, it's all of that good stuff. But in order for that to really matter as much as possible to us, the audience, we can't just be invested in it. We have to see how the other characters are invested in it.
Yep.
And as we said, Riko and Nanachi don't really have any connection here. That's how you can have a scene like the Nanachi scene with Mitzi, with the second Mitzi, and have it be so powerful, even though effectively what's going on is nowhere near as grand and horrifying as the stuff with Fapita, because we know the connection that's there between Nanachi and Mitzi, right? So in this situation, there wouldn't be a connection to Fapita by anyone other than Reg afterwards. And the amnesia one, it's a fun one to be able to use, but it's still little.
It
It's
only
a
goes
bit
so
weaker.
far.
It only goes so far because we're just getting it now. Whereas if it's with Voiko, and then we have the climax of this be Voiko and Fabita meeting, and maybe that's why Wazukyan took Voiko captive because he didn't want that to happen. Then that could be how it gets resolved. We get the emotional connection there. We have had our main cast actually get pretty close to Voiko, and then that's how she becomes part of the party. You know, Fabita, maybe she does actually die somehow, or or something happens that removes her from the situation, and then there's the pain of loss and the continuing down on the journey. I don't know.
Yeah. But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.